Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about the most played cards in Standard and why they're played so much. That's the whole intro. Let's just jump into it. In fifth, the fifth most played card in Standard is Rest in Peace, played in 31% of Standard decks, and the average number played is 2.2. Rest in Peace, it's obvious why we're playing it. It's a great sideboard card to attack graveyards, and especially with graveyard strategies on the rise in the Omniscience combo, in the Oculus Tempo deck, and things like that, you'll just lose if you don't have this very powerful graveyard hate in your sideboard. The issue is it's white. A lot of powerful decks are white, especially slower decks are white, so that's really beneficial to them as well. The fourth most popular card in Standard is Temporary Lockdown. Temporary Lockdown is I guess I didn't explain what Rest in Peace does, but you can read. Temporary Lockdown is a 3-mana enchantment. When Temporary Lockdown enters the battlefield, exile each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less until Temporary Lockdown leaves the battlefield. So this is how these slower white decks that I mentioned, or one of the many ways they can deal with the aggressive decks. And especially since the red-based aggressive decks are so powerful in Standard at the moment, cheap board wipes like this are super needed. And Temporary Lockdown is played in 31% of decks, just like Rest in Peace, probably played together a lot of the time. And the average number played is 2.8. The third most popular card in Standard is Torch the Tower, played in 32% of decks, and the average number played is 3.4. Torch the Tower is a 1 red instant with Bargain. Torch the Tower deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If the spell was bargained, instead it deals 3 damage to that permanent, and you scry 1. If a permanent dealt damage to Torch the Tower would die this turn, exile it instead. This is one of the better removal spells in red, mostly because exile removal is just so good at the moment. Being able to take out a Heartfire hero without it dealing damage to you, or like a Amaso Dread Knight. Also, it just being a 1-mana removal spell that can remove nearly everything in the red deck means it's very good against these aggressive red decks, and fine against some other decks too. The second most played card in Standard is Negate, played in 37% of decks, and the average number played is 1.9. Negate is a 2-mana instant, counter target non-creature spell. Nearly all the slower decks have incredibly powerful non-creature spells, like the Zur deck, the Blue-White Control deck, things like that. It's even good against Esper Self-Bounce because countering to This Town Ain't Big Enough is amazing. If you're playing blue, you kind of need to be playing some number of Negate, especially in the sideboard, to be able to compete with these decks. And then the most played card in Standard is Ghost Vac. It's played in 41% of decks, and the average number played is 1.7. Ghost Vacuum is a 1-mana artifact. You can tap it to exile a target card from a graveyard, and you can pay 6 mana and tap it and sacrifice Ghost Vacuum to put each creature card exiled with Ghost Vacuum onto the battlefield under your control with a flying counter on it. Each of them is a 1/1 spirit in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. Remember how I mentioned graveyard hate's really important against some decks? Well, Ghost Vacuum's in that category as well. Thing is, Ghost Vacuum is an artifact, so any deck can play it, and it has a payoff later in the game, being able to put all those creatures onto the battlefield. It's also kind of cute, in addition against the Enduring cards, being able to exile them as they hit the graveyard as well. And with that endgame payoff, some people bring this card in against like Mono White and things like that. But those are the top 5 most played cards in Standard. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.